pretty much said, you're lucky you got your bags at all. My journey started, I was going to fly to South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, for my son's wedding. And I checked in my bag the night before and then arrived at the airport. I had to pay $20 extra because it was over 57 or over 50 pounds. So I did that. I checked in my suitcase and then I got my ticket, my claim ticket for the luggage. And then I proceeded to go through security and then board the plane. I was there, I would say, an hour plus before my flight was leaving. And my son also was on that same flight. So we were sitting waiting to board the plane. We boarded the plane, um, arrived, it was a direct flight, arrived in Charleston, South Carolina at 12:30. And then after that, he got his bag off the carousel and mine was not there. And I had my claim ticket and it was nowhere to be found. And in Charleston, South Carolina, at their airport, they have no agents for lost or delayed baggage with Sun Country because apparently they are a part-time airline that flies in and out of that airport. So I had no way of finding out where my bag was. Did they place it somewhere else or what? So we got my son's bag and then we left to go to my other son's house without my luggage. And all I had was just my purse that I was flying on. So I had everything for this wedding within that suitcase. I had my dress I purchased, all the outfits I needed. And anyway, so, but unfortunately, there was no answers I had when the bag did not arrive off the carousel. So I went home or went to my son's house, and then I called the Charleston airport. And when I talked to them, I asked for Sun Country airline agent or customer service. And they told me Sun Country doesn't fly out of here. And I said, I just flew off the airplane an hour ago. And yes, they do. And then we just said, okay, forget it. And then we called back again, hoping to get another person on the phone. But no, we got that same person. And then she put me on hold for a Alero airline. I was on hold for 40 minutes. And once I got on the phone, they said, this is not Sun Country. This is, I want to say Alero or some kind of airline. And they said, you'll have to call customer service. So I hung up with them and then I sat and called. And I just went through the ticket agent, or I just called the Sun Country, I guess, 800 number. So then I talked to somebody, and of course, I was on hold for a long time, but then finally someone did answer, and then they helped me locate my bag. They told me that my suitcase was in Las Vegas. It did not arrive with the flight. I mean, and it was a direct flight from Minneapolis to Charleston, South Carolina. So I have no idea how my suitcase ended up in Las Vegas. And so when I talked to one of the agents over the phone, they said, well, yes, it's in Las Vegas. It says that it was a late check in and it was my fault that the bag was not in Charleston, South Carolina. I said, "That's so interesting because," and I have it. I said, "I have a plane ticket that says Charleston International Airport." And they checked my bag. And that was just crazy. So then they said, "Well, and then they said, "Well, there's really nothing we can do because it was a late check-in." I said, "Interesting." I said, "No, it isn't." I said, "Can I talk to your supervisor?" "No, the supervisor is at a funeral and won't be until Monday." I said, "Okay." And I'm asking for names who I talked to because I'm documenting everything. And they can only give me their first names. They can't give me their badge number. They can't any. So I said, okay. So I was thinking, I said, so what can be what's the solution? How do I get my luggage? And at this point, I just didn't even care how it got to Las Vegas. I need my suitcase. And so they said, well, we will ship it back to Minneapolis. And then, unfortunately, there are no planes going into South Carolina until Sunday. I said, well, that's not going to work. And then I said, could I have someone pick it up? And then could they send it on a flight like another airline? I mean, I was throwing out numerous options and they just like, nope, nope, nope. So I just had to take a break from it, and I just like, I'm getting nowhere. And plus I just arrived and we have a party to go to. I mean, this is my son's wedding, so we have Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, many events. And so I had to let it go. I mean, there was nothing I could do. And I was so beyond frustrated. I just was numb that no one, I was shamed because apparently they claimed it was my fault. The next morning, I called up, and of course, I was on hold for 45 minutes. I didn't, and then I hit the call back, they would call me back within an hour. So I did that because I had a lot of activity happening. And so they called me back and I talked to the person and they said, well, your luggage didn't make it to Minneapolis last night from Las Vegas. It's still there. And so it will be arriving so Friday. I said, okay, but how can I get my suitcase here? Well, it's a late check in, so there's really nothing we can do. I said, first of all, I'm going to set you straight. I did not check in late. And if I did, why would they give me a ticket? And why did I pay a total of $60 to have my bag flown to Las Vegas? I'm not in Las Vegas. So anyway, my friend had a little more luck contacting, I think she contacted the editor of the Pioneer Press in St. Paul, the newspaper, and she had called some of her contacts that she had, and she was the one that was really telling me, my friend, that okay, here are the options. I talked to so and so. They said that they can do this, do that. Bottom line is, if I didn't have my friend making these calls and connections to Sun Country, I would have gotten nowhere. And so that day, Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, I get a call from the central baggage claim area, baggage department. And they said, we sent your bag from Las Vegas to Minneapolis. And as soon as it arrives, we will send it FedEx or overnight to you, and it will arrive at noon on Saturday. And that process worked. I called and I talked to, I left my number so that they could call back. And it was 2 hours after. So I started the process at 10 in the morning. And I got a call back. It was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I talked to Brandon and I said, look, I would like to know what is the process, the reimbursement for me paying $60 to not get my suitcase because the pound, it weighed more. Um, and then reimbursement for the clothes I had to purchase while I was there without clothing in my suitcase. And he just said, ma'am, it was a late check in. This case is closed, and I cannot divulge any more information. And I said, what? And so then I asked, I said, what is your title with the company? I just really need to get this statement. So you're not able to give me any information or answer any questions of mine. He's like, nope. I said, so what is the position that you are with Sun Country Central Baggage? He says, ma'am, I cannot answer that. I said, okay. Could I get the name of your supervisor? No, ma'am, I cannot disclose that. I said, okay, so this is your statement that my case is closed. It's a done deal. And he goes, you'll have to file a complaint on the website with Sun Country and go from there because your case is closed. We're done. It was a late check in. And no, this is also what he said. You're lucky you got your bag at all. I guess I would like for them to financially reimburse me for all the clothes that I had to purchase. I mean, I'm not asking for much. Reimburse me for my $60 I paid to get the bag checked and a written apology. I'm not asking for much. And I mean, if I was asking for, a crazy amount, I'm just looking for justice.